with the amount of music and entertainment in this little town. It's unbelievable. And I mean, I've been involved with it for about 40 years or so, but it's still really boggled my mind. And there is no way that I can mention everybody and cover every band and every venue and everything else. And so I apologize in advance. If somebody knows something that I don't mention, please share it. But anyway, we started in the early 1800s, and actually it was the Kingsford Band in 1878, formed on October 2nd, a day that will live in infamy, and some of you know why. It's my birthday. And it was formed by Mr. Thomas Kingsford, and it was made up entirely of members of the Kingsford Starch Factory. And this is a very old picture of them. And then we went on and we talked about the Oswego City Band, which was organized in 1988 with John White. We talked about the Oster House, or Oster Out corner band from Oswego Center. That was in 1893, believe it or not. Then we went into the early 1900s with the Schilling Concert and Military Band in 1906, the St. Peter's Drum Corps in 1909. And then, of course, we had to recognize Charlie Davis, who wrote a wonderful Dixieland standard, which he made sure that Hubert and I announced as Copenhagen. It is not Copenhagen, Copenhagen. And he wrote that in 1924. And he was, of course, inducted into the Oswego Hall of Fame, Music Hall of Fame as well. Then we looked at some high school bands from the 20s, the Blue and White Syncopators from 27. I love this title, The Agony 8 from 1929. I love that. And the Glee Club, I believe that's from the high school, I believe, 1929. Somewhere in there. We moved into the 30s and 40s with some of the orchestras, the Lenny Youngman Orchestra, the City Band in 34, with then Weldon Gross, Slim Gross was the head of. Fred Curtis had an orchestra in those days. We talked about Nick Sterio's band. We talked about Joe Sperino, the great singer who never told anybody that he was a singer. And his family found out much later that he was actually a famous singer. And of course, Hugh Barrett, a dear friend of mine who was very involved in music education here in town and ran a bunch of musical organizations. The Centennial Project in 1948, the music was written by Charlie Davis, and it was a program done called Let Flow the River. And then we also talked about some of the famous venues. We talked about the Academy, the Richardson Theater, of course, the Casino, what was known as the Casino, which is where the Candy Works were, up on where the new Dunkin' Donuts is, up next to the Armory, up on that corner. And of course the Fortnightly Club.
Well, yeah.
And we couldn't go without talking about the rock and roll bands of the time. Look at that. The Rockin' High-Lows, the Thunderbirds, the Valiants, and Billy and the Barons.
Wow.
So that's about where we left off, I think. Oh, and the Newberry Four, of course, and we listened to some music from that time
Is this
as well.
50s, 60s? When
Say it again?
Was this 50s, 60s? When were the bands?
Yeah, the 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
Late 50s, early 60s. Yeah. Good looking bunch, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we move on to part two. And this is more actually of a survey and mentioning these groups and bringing them back to your memories rather than a history lesson. So we'll start with Damn Dog. How do you like that? They won the 2025 Joseph P. Sperino Hall of Fame Award for a blues group. And it was the Kyle brothers. Dave was the bass player, is the bass player. Craig is the drummer. And Larry is the guitar player and does an awful lot of solo dates. They've been doing this 48 years.
Wow.
Isn't that something? 48 years. Great band. Larry very often hosts the open mic at the music hall. Barry McCaffrey, remember the Barry James Band?
Yes, I do.
Right? They started in 1975, and the band was known as Mind's Eye. And Barry and his younger brother Tommy and bassist Tim Smith, we'll talk more about Weasel later, and drummer Scott Columbus, later heavy metal Manover fame. Scott played with Manowar. And the keyboard singer was Bill Feeney, and they evolved into the Barry James Band. Wrote a whole bunch of hits, Elevator, West Seneca Street Theme, and Lake Ontario Twilight, which is still performed by Frostbit Blue. And a little bit later, we'll hear some of that. And Barry passed away in 1984. And that's Tommy on the right, Barry on the left. Speaking of Frostbit Blue, Frostbit Blue. Nick Raveling, Mike Place, Tom McCaffrey, Johnny Bletch, of course, and Benny Fiacco. And so let's listen to, as long as I have this working, wait a minute, talk amongst yourselves for just a minute. Just a minute. Hope this is turned on. How do you like that? Well, let's see if you can hear it.
I can hear it. You can't?
It's not playing.
You can hear it in your mind.
That had to be Peg.
No, it was a man. It was.
Nice. So it's nice to hear the music of Barry James Band continuing on. And I have to mention bassist Tim Smith, who we all knew as Weasel. You know, bass players always have a high regard for one another. And Weasel was always fun to be around. And although we weren't really close, we were good friends. We had a good relationship. We were always buying each other a beer and hanging out whenever we saw each other, and it was a lot of fun. Interesting story, sometime back, I was at a gig for artists that I work for from Nashville. And we're hanging around after the show, and they're signing autographs and whatnot. And this woman comes up and has on a t-shirt for this artist that I work for, a t-shirt that I designed in 2002. And it turned out that it was Tim's wife.
Oh.
Yeah. So that was kind of nice. That was kind of nice. So anyway, Weasel was a great guy and a great bass player. Great bass player. Remember the Mack Brothers?
Yeah.
Right? 1977. Now check this out. I'm gonna go through the personnel because they made more changes to this personnel than the Doobie Brothers. It's ridiculous. Billy Barlow, of course, was a drummer, and Jack Barlow played keyboards and vocals. Then it starts to get crazy. Daniel Roberts-Kuhn was a bass player. Joe Corbett was a steel player. Charlie Fay played drums and vocals. But wait a minute, I thought Billy Barlow played drums. Bobby G, Robert Gardner played drums. Hank Hohenbein played drums. Danny Horn played bass. J.R. Lamb, George J.R. Lamb, I don't know what he did actually. He did something, I guess he was a singer. Patty Pasquarella McLean was the singer, and Freddie McLean was the lead guitar player, and Buck Reed was a steel player, and Marty Rourke was involved in the organization. But I moved here in 1979, and I remember the Mack Brothers playing everywhere. They played everywhere. It was a great band, great band. And they did get together. I think they won the Sperino Award. I think it was in 2019, I believe, and got together and did a reunion concert. And it was at the Foundry during the presentation of the Hall of Fame Awards. So there's the Mack Brothers. How about the Country Showmen? You remember the Country Showmen? No? Al Thompson, Jim Yeager, Bill Favata, and Jim Thompson. Al and Jim ran A&J Music for many years. And unfortunately, Bill passed away. I believe it was a car accident. Bill passed away. Jim died a few years ago. But this is interesting. I'll see if you can hear this.
Oh, there you go.
Busted in Memphis, you're the nail and they're the hammer. The pretty girls in Tennessee can drive a young man wild when you're busted in Memphis. None of them even smile.
1974. Busted in Memphis. Great song. I love it. I love it. So that's, a kind of a look at the bands that were around in those days. And the exciting thing now is that there are some new bands coming up that are relatively recent bands that are very, very exciting and fun. This is Cold Front. And this is Zach Dewey, Nick Lavosi. I think he was a student of mine. Wasn't he, Diane? Was he a student of mine? Josh Smith, Alex Schubert, Matt Castilla. I know he was a student of mine. Because Chris was here at the last program. She's not here tonight. And Eric Wilson's the drummer. Check them out on Facebook. They're really, really a fun band to listen to, and really, really good stuff. So that's Cold Front. In the Flesh, this is a Pink Floyd tribute that's new in the area, and it's Jamie Burritt, who is Hugh Burritt's son, who we talked about earlier. He's the keyboard player and does lead vocals. Jim Eckert is a guitar player. Ron Richards is a guitar player. Don Beashores is the bass player, and John Wilson is the drummer. And it's a full tribute to Pink Floyd. And sometimes they had background singers and a horn section, and it's quite a show. So I know they just did a show at the Keswick, which went very, very well. So Keswick and Pulaski. So check out In the Flesh. And of course we have our local stars, right? Dave Wallover, who's been around forever. He also worked at A&J for many, many years. Wonderful, wonderful player. Of course, John McConnell and Gary Carpentier and Cam Caruso, our mainstays. Whoops, what'd I do? Now I broke it. Our mainstays around here. Please come back. There they go. You hear them all the time. And there's some wonderful, wonderful single acts playing around the area, including the young lady out on the deck tonight. Brittany, what was her name? Keen? Is that her name? Diane? C-A-N? Something like that? Yeah, she's from Watertown. But she sounds great. So, there's a lot of wonderful music opportunities all the time to listen to in Oswego. It's an awful lot of fun. And it's a great continuation, I think, of the music that we talked about last time that has been in the area for so many years. Got to talk about the music hall. We have to talk about the music hall. It started really as the Low Life Cafe. Remember the Low Life Cafe? Right? 1973, Sue and Dick Reinert started this place. They wanted it to be like a Greenwich Village coffee shop. And the funny story is that Dick's mom apparently thought that it was going to attract a lot of what she called riffraff. And the kind of people that you really didn't want to be around. And so Dick and Sue decided to name it the Low Life. And there's a wonderful article written by Jim Fafalia that you can find online, and if you're QR savvy, you can grab the QR code. That tells the whole story about it. They had an espresso machine named Lena that they got from somewhere and rebuilt. There's a story on there about that Mary Lowe relates about finding furniture for that. I need to ask her about that. I was hoping maybe she'd be here tonight. But of course, we know that it became known as the Music Hall. So 50 years later, this thing is still going stronger than ever. In fact, they're starting their curator series tonight with a young phenom on the ukulele that's playing over there this evening. Feng Yi is his name. So they've been at a number of different venues throughout the years, but these are some things that Ellen shared with me. Old posters and newsletters and whatnot from the 70s and 80s. I do remember during the 80s, the music hall was located in the church that is over on 4th and Oneida, right? That used to be a UCC church. And there's that big room in the back. And they used that. And at the time, I was the operations director at WRVO. And we used to record the music hall concerts and then broadcast them. And so every night, or every other week, or whenever they had the programs, I would get some of my interns and we would go over and record the show. One night, I pulled up to the back of Lanigan Hall to get the equipment, and the interns and I went in, and of course, I had keys to Lanigan because I worked there. And I went in to get all the equipment. We're loading it out, and I notice a campus police car pulls up behind my car. Says, what are you guys doing? I said, well, I'm getting equipment together. My students and I we record the music hall and for broadcast, He says, well, do you have permission to be moving this equipment? This belongs to WRVO, belongs to the college. I said, well, yeah, actually, yes, we do. Well, I'm going to have to make a phone call. I'm going to have to find out who's in charge of this stuff, and we're going to have to get this straightened out. I said, okay, yeah, here's his number. I gave him my home number. And of course, no cell phones back in those days, So I gave my home number. And I said, well, I gotta go and call this. I said, go ahead. I said, you know what though? I'm not sure he's there right now. He said, what do you mean? I said, because it's me. Oh, funny. I had a few run-ins like that with security over the years, but it was fun. So they have moved to different venues throughout the years. They're at the McRobey building right now. As we know, it is absolutely outstanding entertainment, national entertainment. Tony Trishka was there this April, an old friend of mine. And it's just been a great organization. And Ellen Wall and the board just does an absolutely fabulous job. So I highly recommend, if you have not been to the music hall, I highly recommend going to the music hall. I believe it's October 17th. You have to check the website. Anthony Joseph, and his brother are doing a clarinet thing with some jazz musicians, and it's the beginning of their Jazz by the Lake series for this year. I believe it's October 17th. It is. It is? Who said that? Okay. We're holding that. You're holding you to that now. So I highly, highly recommend that you check that out. Everything, of course, is on their website, and it's at OswegoMusicHall.org. And also, if you're QR savvy, you can do that thing. Yeah, it is October 17th. I have it written right here. So you're right. Good. All right. Any questions so far? We're moving right along. We're going to have some fun. Who was in school in Oswego in 1974? Anybody? Okay, just a couple.
College.
Okay, well, we know Tom. Well, let's go back to 1974, and let's see if we know any of these people. Feel free to get up and come and look.
I know all of them.
You know all of them. So this is Tri M at Cat High in 1974. Look at those hairstyles.
Says Jay Stone.
Where?
Are you
Who
down there?
are we looking for?
No, it's Jim.
Stone. See that familiar last name of Stone, down left.
That would be Jim, because
Okay.
he's saying, I didn't.
Okay.
Right in front of you.
Third row.
Oh, I got her. I see
No, it's
it.
not me.
No, it's.
I see him.
No, it's an entirely different Stone. Jim.
Not related.
No?
Nope.
Nope.
Anybody else?
Related to the Rainuses.
I know all of them.
I see a Paul Dean,
Sue McDonald, my sister-in-law.
a Sugar, a Rainus,
Rick Rayner. Probably Teresa Sugar.
Sister doesn't look too happy.
She never did.
She never did.
Who is it?
Liam.
Oh.
Amanda, that looks like you.
I wasn't born yet.
It's your doppelganger. All right, anybody else? No? All right, let's try this one. This is the Glee Club from 1974. She looks a little bit happier.
I know all of them.
Were you in that one, Jamie?
No, I think I was escorting the photographer.
Oh,
I was co-editor of the year.
oh, fun.
And he was cute, so I followed him around all day.
Smart girl.
Big group.
What loan is it? 74. Yeah.
The Nardozzi, there's a Bosco.
Joe Bosco?
No, Jay Bosco.
Joe.
Is Joe Bosco?
Wait, 74.
There's a Nopper Canoop. Who's that, Linda? Do you know? No? Okay. Anybody else? All right, let's go across town to the high school. This is the marching band
Oh, that's my.
in 1974.
There's Bob Keeler up in top row.
There's Red Swindells right there.
It has to have been before 70.
Oh, no, it was 70.
It was 1970.
Where do you sit here?
1974.
No,
think
we
he
just
said
know
it.
these people.
There's a Sorrel.
Actually, yeah. Betty Jamali. Wait a minute, I can't even recognize Red Swindells.
He's up here.
Is that really him?
Yeah.
It's not 74.
No, it's earlier than 74.
70.
70.
70.
Can't be. Came out of the 74 Paradox.
Sorry.
They're older than I
Didn't.
am.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep. This is my year.
Okay, so in 1970, this is the marching band from 1970.
It's before us.
But that's Red.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah, and he's old.
Boy, that
Too old
doesn't
to have
look
been
like
in
Red.
high school.
Phil DeSantis.
Okay, was Bob Keeler?
They went to school with these
Your
kids.
age?
Yep.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm telling you, if you go to the library and go into the collections room, you're going to find the 1974 Paradox.
We know some of those people.
Okay.
They
Yeah,
weren't.
I know the Stones always give me a hard time.
Gotta do what you
Who
good
was
at.
the band director then? That's a good question.
Lenny Lambert.
Lenny
Lambert?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When did Ed come along? When did Ed List come
Oh,
along?
way
Shortly
later.
after that. Yeah.
80s.
I'm in
Hey, Dave.
mid-70s.
Okay. Look, I'm moving. Okay.
Oh, never
As
mind.
Hugh Burt was in there in between,
Yeah.
between Lenny Lambert and.
But Hugh was at Layton, wasn't he? He wasn't at the high school, was he?
Yeah,
Or he was everywhere?
he kind of dabbled.
You should have brought it, right?
But there was Len Lambert, and then Hugh was in there, and then Ed Liskin.
Okay. See, I didn't live here then.
Because some of those people right my
I never.
I'm very young. All right, so I'll go with 1970. So this is one of the symphonic bands, and I thought it was 74. Maybe it's 70.
see the names.
I'm failing miserably here. Let's see. No, this has to be 74 because that's Judy Stereo,
Yeah, that is 74.
right? Somebody else is in here.
Jay Maxon.
Dave Burritt. That's Dave Burritt. Judy Maxon.
Oh, Judy Maxon.
Who else?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Bob Pittenger.
in the fifth row.
Bob Pittenger? No. Yeah.
Santoro. That's got to be Lori.
This has to be 74.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where you should
I
graduate.
think that was after us.
Shapiro. That's going to be
Way after us. We graduated.
Yeah,
I touched her.
Dunsmore.
I wonder what Fitzgibbons that is.
Let me see, where is she? Next to Judy?
Back next to Judy.
Yeah, right there.
Front row.
Oh, it's John.
Plaid shirt.
She's a girl. Is it John?
Or is it the other way around? Yeah, no, it's here.
Something like that.
He what?
His hair
Her eyes are closed, whoever it is.
looks like a girl.
I don't think.
Not Jeannie, she was a girl.
All right, we move on? Yeah? Okay.
Janice.
One more. This is the same year.
See, those names aren't familiar enough to me to my cousin. Yeah. Jay Clunas.
So that's gotta be Lade or
Carl Janice.
too bad.
Oh, yeah, there's a Jay Clunan. That would be Jim.
Would that be Linda Sperino?
No,
No?
Linda Stango's older.
I don't remember Carol Janice, that could be her. Kazarian.
Yeah.
That was either Natalie or
Norma.
Natalie.
Yeah, yeah, which way was, yeah.
Who's the cheerleader?
I don't recognize those names.
Mm-mm.
Boy, fashion was horrible in 1974.
Scary thing is, it came back
Is Ann Cahill?
a while ago, but it came back.
Said the lady in the red and white striped shirt.
Yes.
I'm just seeing a lot of stripes
That's
up
two,
there.
Margaret.
This is that
That's-
old.
I'm
That's
just
two.
seeing a lot of
This
stripes
is
up
that
there.
old.
That's two. Yeah, it's it's just fun to go back and look at those, but it's fun to think about being in those organizations back then. You know, I was in a wind ensemble. It was in Scranton, Pennsylvania, but it was in 1974, and we kind of looked like that.
Wally Workman? That would have been
That can't be Wally Workmaster.
No.
No,
That would have
no.
been
The son.
70s.
The son.
Because Wally wasn't from here.
Okay.
No, but he
grew
was
up here.
here, Don, and what was his kid's name?
Wally Jr.
Oh, so that'd be Wally
That's
Jr.
what it is. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
all right. Yeah, because Wally.
Yeah, because he was at the fort, Don.
Yeah, but he was a lot older than me when he was at the fort.
He had a son named Wally.
Right.
Yeah,
That's his
okay, yeah,
kid.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's his kid.
All right. Okay. All right, have we beat that dead?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's look at some of the other musical offerings that we have in the community. And I came across this. There's a lot of musical education. A lot of musicians in this town teach private lessons, or teach in the schools, obviously, or teach now remotely. I only teach remotely. I don't teach it at home anymore. And I came across this from 1992. This was a newspaper article from A&J Music that Kevin St. Amour, Jeff Sawyer, John Bletch, and a really good-looking, thin guy with the beard. Notice Jeff and I are wearing ties. Notice that? Kevin and Bletch? Nope. No. But we started teaching lessons at A&J. And so this was in 1992. Remember that picture, Diane?
Lex looks exactly the same. Yeah, he does.
He
You're
does.
supposed
Yeah,
to say, honey,
yeah.
you look exactly the same.
I do, don't I? Oh,
Yes.
I do, don't I? Yeah, in my memory.
It's a blurry photo.
In my memory. In my memory. So let's look at some of the jazz groups that have been in the area over the years. Of course, we talked about the Nick Stereo Orchestra. We mentioned the Jan Stewart Orchestra. Donnie Goodness had the Do Good Big Band. Eddie Goodness had the quartet.
He played at our wedding.
Who did?
Eddie Goodness.
Eddie did?
Yes, he did.
I used to sub on that band
Yeah.
quite a bit. I subbed for Ed Powers. And yeah, that was a lot. Oh boy, have I got stories. Oh boy, have I got stories. Hugh Bird started the Oswego Dixieland Band. And we used to play around quite a bit, did all Harborfest things. We played on the OMF Ontario when they launched her. Whatever year that was, 84 maybe, that they launched that?
Later than that.
Ashley was in kindergarten,
Later than that.
so
Oh, so it was later than that.
like 94.
Oh, whoops. Okay,
Boy, that's decades.
wow. Anyway, we played on that.
Okay.
Canned Funk / Slow Burn / Off Ramp / Free Fall, which were all the same band. We had an identity crisis. We could never come up with a name that stuck, although I think Free Fall stayed around the longest. But that was Stan Gozik, myself, Red Swindells. We had a wonderful drummer early on. Well, in the basement of, at that time, Hugh lived at the corner of Mohawk and 5th, East 5th, I think, either 5th or 4th. And we used to rehearse in the afternoons in their basement, but we had to stop at 1 o'clock so that his wife and daughters could watch soap operas. So we would take an hour break and then come back and finish the rehearsal. Yeah. But then later on it was Red and Stan and I and a wonderful drummer named Lorraine Faina, who was from the college, and she went on to play drums for many years with Peeble Bryson. And I think she's still in Florida. I believe she's still in Florida. Wonderful, wonderful drummer. Then there was another group that came out of the college called Shades, that Gary Accavelli, great drummer, played with. And of course then there's the Oswego Jazz Project, which is the teachers in the jazz department now at the college. So that was in those days. A lot of musical theater around the area. Of course, SUNY Oswego had the Oswego Summer Theater in the 70s and 80s. That became Lakeside Dinner Theater in the 80s and 90s. That was an incredible run. We would run that thing for about 8 weeks, 7 or 8 shows a week. It was nothing but fun. Every show was fantastic. Jim Soluri was absolutely amazing. He was amazing. Jim and I did hundreds and hundreds of shows together and had a wonderful, wonderful relationship. And I have to tell the story. I have to tell. This is my favorite Jim Soluri story. We had a tradition. Well, there were 2 traditions. Every year, the night of dress rehearsal, I would have a dream. After dress rehearsal, I would have a dream that Jim and I had a fight, and he fired me. We had that dream every year for 8 years, or however long it was. But the other tradition that we had was, before we started the show, Jim would find me in the dressing room or in the green room, and he would bring me his bow tie. And he would stand there, and I would tie his bow tie for him. And I would finish tying it, and I would say, "Ready, Skippy?" And off we'd go. And he would not start a show until I tied his bow tie. That's a story I hold very, very dear to my heart. I really do. So Lakeside Dinner Theater was great. The shows at the high school are beyond compare. They are absolutely unbelievable. The production team, TJ and Steve, are unbelievable. The students that they have. Robert Dumas is an absolutely wonderful musical director. Ronnie Shaver was great. John Armstrong was John Armstrong. And the shows are just phenomenal. And I've been doing the shows there, I think, since the 1980s. And it's just a pleasure every year. Top-notch stuff. And a lot of people that have graduated from there have gone on to be on Broadway, either on stage or backstage on Broadway. So it's really something that says a lot for the department and a lot for Steve and TJ. And of course the Oswego Players over at the Francis Marion Brown Theater, doing an absolutely wonderful job, great shows, awful lot of fun. And so, again, I encourage that. Consinity.
Now we're talking the right age.
Now we're talking the right age. What a great bunch. What a great group. Awful fun to listen to. I have good news for you. They are doing a reprise of their 60s concert this Sunday at 3 o'clock. And is it at Faith United, Diane?
Minetto.
Oh, in Minetto. That's right, at Minetto. Yeah. So this Sunday at 3.
That was so wonderful because I remembered every word to every song.
Oh, really?
I don't remember anything.
You didn't sing along though, did you, Peg?
No, I
Okay.
didn't, I swear. I probably mouthed them all, but I don't remember anything, but those, I remember every one. It was wonderful, wonderful.
Well, they're doing the reprise this week. So there you go. And we just found that out just a little while ago. We have had a lot of superstars here in Oswego. Not just because of Harborfest. We've had a lot at Harborfest, but we've had a lot at the college, including people like Billy Joel. Imagine that was right after Piano Man came out. He was here. Art Garfunkel, Livingston Taylor, and look at this. Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Kenny Loggins. was here. Thank you very much. Dennis DeYoung from Styx. Three Dog Night. Starship? I don't think Gracie was with him. Isn't that something? Isn't that great?
Yep.
And of course, Harborfest. Not what it used to be back in the day. Now we have tribute bands of tribute bands, but great entertainment, great stuff. Love it or hate it, the music and entertainment, it's the event of the year. It really, really is. And the fireworks are fireworks. And I'll tell you, one of the most exciting things is this is the 10th year of Porch Fest. And Porch Fest has really become one of the most loved and anticipated musical events of the year in Oswego. It really has. And it's a nice afternoon, as long as the weather's good.
The weather's been great.
It has. We've lucked out. This year was an awful lot of fun. So that's some of what goes on around this area. And I do have to mention the Hall of Fame, Music Hall of Fame. The Joseph Sperino Hall of Fame Award this year went to Barry McCaffrey, posthumously, for the Barry James Band as a songwriter. And to Damn Dog as the blues group. And then in the enrichment category was James Dillabow and Patrick Hillman, won the awards for that. Joey Trianfero won for Educator. Dirt Road Ruckus was the country band this year. And Mike Shield was the soloist. And the scholarship, they have a Joe Sperino scholarship this year went to Gabrielle Cook. And I forget who got the Music and Veteran Award. Oh, there it was, James Dillabow got that award. So you can visit them at Oswego Music Hall, musichалloffame.com. All right?
Cool.
So go ahead. Somebody had something.
I just said cool.
Oh, cool. All right. So there's a lot to find out. You can go on Facebook and search on the Oswego music scene, search on Oswego, New York musicians and music scene. That's two different groups. And the Oswego Music Hall of Fame group. And you can also go there and find out more than you want to know about me. And I will entertain any questions that I can make up answers to.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, don't forget to do that.
I just have a comment about how kind some of these people are. Frostbit Blue, our grandson Dakota, who is a disabled child, but everybody in the world knows and loves him. And every time they play, he has to be there, and they invite him up to sing with them. It's so wonderful that these people can do that with these kids, because it included him to love him as much as he loves them. So I think that's just great.
Yeah, I've had a lot of experience with large international artists over the years. And I have found not only are they absolutely fabulous musicians, but they're great people. They're just great people. And I don't think that's a coincidence. You know? And it is nice when you come across people like, now, I'm not going to say that all musicians are like that. There are some that are known as being not so nice. But the ones who are nice are really, really sweet. Yeah. Anything else? Any other questions, comments, memories? What was your favorite band, Rob? In Oswego. Yeah, you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor. What was your favorite band in Oswego?
Quick, ask Ava. Quick.
Free Fall.
The alligators.
Free Fall.
Oh, right up there was Free Fall. Thanks a lot.
Didn't mean to put you on the spot, but.
I'm sweating bullets here.
So anyway, I thank you very much. And there we go.